Hello, friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel. Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. Back at it after a little bit of a layoff, was taking care of some things, both personal and trying to get the website running. We are back with the Franchise Stars Baseball League Game of the Week. This is our first look at the Kansas City Royals as they host the Minnesota Twins. They have split the first two games of this series. The American League Central is tightly packed, to say the least. The Cleveland Indians got off to a fairly slow start, and that has kind of kept everybody in the mix. Zack Greinke will get the start here for the Royals. 2-4, 3.23 earned run average. Lack of run support will be a problem all year for the Royals. Buddy Meyer will lead things off for the Twins. We'll get through the lineups as we go here. Greinke ready to get things started. First pitch, and Meyer swinging first pitch. Fly ball out to center, coming up. Grab. Good snag out there. Long way to run, but the first out is retired. So Twins lineup: Meyer, Smalley, and Mauer, Herbeck, Heil, and John Stone, Shane Mack, Gary Gaetti, and Max Kepler is your starting lineup. They will run. Second in the American League in stolen bases. Here's Roy Smalley. Smalley, surprisingly productive at the plate so far. 303 batting average to open up the year. 4 home runs, 20 runs batted in for Smalley. Darryl Porter comes in here for the Royals with a 17-game hitting streak. Breaking ball from Greinke. There is nothing Smalley can do about that. He is completely fooled behind the count 0-2. That fastball misses just off the plate. Greinke comes inside. Smalley able to fight off a tough pitch there. Count stays at 1-2. Greinke delivers. Another slider inside. Smalley takes that one. Count goes to 2-2. Fastball misses up high. See Joe Mauer. Hot bat. Swinging in the on-deck circle. Delivery from Greinke. Fastball freezes Smalley. Strike 3 call. Smalley will grab a seat, and that's 2 away. First strikeout for Greinke. So Greinke will throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink. Mixes things up there. Ultimately ends up locking up Smalley for the second out. So here's Mauer. 319 average so far on the year. This is May 22nd of year 1 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League. The amateur draft will be held, it'll probably be next week, because we'll do the May 29th broadcast on Wednesday of this week. And then it'll be time for the amateur draft. Mauer dunks this one, bloop base hit into left. Over the head of the third baseman. So Mauer is on with a 2-out single. Again, the setup for this league, if you are new to watching, it is a 100-player master pool for each team. 40 players were randomly selected by a generator to be the team's 40 men for year 1. Everybody else, this one is laced the other way, down the line. Mauer heading towards third. They're going to wave Mauer around. Here comes the relay. Mauer in and at home. Good base running there from Mauer, off on contact. Kent Herbeck drives in the run with an RBI double. Good piece of hitting there from Herbeck. And the Twins are on the board with a 1-0 lead. So that'll bring up Larry Heil. I'm sitting a little bit further away from my TV than usual today. So, yep, 265, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in for Heil. So, it's the initial 40 players from that 100-player pool are the first season. The remaining 60 guys will enter gradually through the amateur draft. So a team's full history is going to get played out over time. But this whole project is being built in order to go 20, 25, 30 seasons down the line. So that amateur draft, basically it'll be the way the computer picks. Obviously it'll be fictional players, but the positions that it picks. So if the Twins, for example, draft a third baseman in the first round of the amateur draft when it comes up here, I will go through the third baseman for the Twins who were not selected in that 40-man roster as Heil is fanned by Greinke to end the top of the first here. But the Twins strike with a run. Royals coming up down 1-0. And then, so there will be 5 third basemen who weren't picked initially. The random generator will spit out which one of those third basemen is the Twins' pick in that slot, and then that guy will get created in the game, will be overwritten over the guy who they draft, and then that player will enter that way, and that's how this will go for the duration. So here's Johan Santana, 4-2, 2.32 earned run average for him. He'll face Amos Otis. Otis batting .278 to open up the season.
Number 26.
So I'll do a separate show. I'll do a separate broadcast. I'm not going to actually broadcast the draft because I'll be bouncing around all over the place to do that between the screens on here and my spreadsheets. And frankly, I just don't think it'll be a particularly enjoyable broadcast. Otis tries to bunt his way on, but pops it up. Santana pops off the mound, grabs it for the first out. Otis, Ray Sanchez, and Mike Sweeney. Darryl Porter, red-hot Darryl Porter. Brian McRae at DH, Emmanuel Rivera. Mark Grudzielanek, Andrew Benintendi, and Cookie Rojas. The lineup for the Royals. Not a lot of power in that lineup. Sanchez batting .266, no home runs, 10 runs batted in. Delivery from Santana, popped up over to third. That one is snagged in foul territory for the second out. So it's only taken 4 pitches for Johan Santana to retire the first 2. Here's Mike Sweeney. Sweeney batting .303, only 2 home runs so far, but 20 runs batted in. First pitch fastball, misses down low. Sweeney, 12 doubles on the year, tied for the team lead. Fly ball out to right, slicing foul ground. That's going to go into the stands. Count goes to 1-1. Santana fires. Up high, Sweeney fouls it back. Count will go to 1-2. That one, sinker down low. Sweeney fights it off. To number back to the backstop. Count stays 1-2. Twins lead 1-0. We're here in the bottom of the first, just underway from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. That one misses. Count goes to 2-2. Ground ball to the right-hand side. Fielded by Knobloch. Throw over to first. And the side is retired. So Kansas City goes down 1-2-3. Stone, Mack, and Gaetti will bat for the Twins as we start the second. Here's John Stone. Stone, great start for him. 329, 7 homers, 29 RBIs. Stone, an old Washington Senators player. Greinke deals. Fastball in there for a called strike. That one on the corner. Good pitch from Greinke. So Greinke ahead 0-2 here. On the next scroll through, we will check the out-of-town scoreboard. Greinke ties him up. Fastball inside. So Stone, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Go grab a seat. That's the third strikeout for Greinke. awkward swing to say the least. So here's Shane Mack. In the face, Greinke, slider in there for a called strike. Mack batting .250, 6 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Greinke deals. Breaking ball way outside. 1-1 the count. Greinke rears back and fires. That one a line the other way. That's going to be extra bases from Mack. That's going to the wall down the right field line into the corner. Dug out. Throw comes in. Mack will be in at second with a stand-up one-out double. His 5th double of the year.
Number 8.
They were facing Greinke. Greinke mixes it up. He mixes his locations. He mixes his pitches so well. You just kind of take what he gives you. Mack does a good job of that there. Here's Gary Gaetti. That one fouled off. Gaetti, 247 on the year. 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. So the power number's there. The average is not. Fittingly for Gary Gaetti. Delivery from Greinke. This one pulled down the left field line, drifting foul and out of play. Benintendi will throw it back in, because it doesn't quite make the seats. Not really sure why he'd throw it back in rather than give it to a fan. You're at home. Benintendi possibly being heckled for some odd reason. So Gaetti swings and misses. Greinke has 4 strikeouts here. Out of his first 5 men retired, but he does still trail this game 1-0. So here's Max Kepler. Kepler struggling. In the early going, fastball in there for a called strike. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Kepler is in a platoon situation, if I remember correctly, with Tom Brunansky for the Twins. That one down low, fouled off. 1-1 the count. Kepler had a home run in yesterday's game. Mack on second, 2 outs. Changeup swung over by Kepler. Count goes to 1-2. That one hot shot down to third. Rivera catches it before it hits the ground. And the side's retired. Hot line drive, but a nice pick by Emmanuel Rivera. We head to the bottom of the second. Twins 1, Royals nothing. Again, what I'm doing here with the broadcast is I want to get every team broadcasted once. Here's Darryl Porter. Porter, 331, 10 homers, 28 RBIs. Porter in the midst of a 17-game hitting streak. He has been a huge plus for the Royals as they try to hang in things here. Ground ball through the right-hand side, so Porter stays hot. Nice job by Darryl Porter, who continues his terrific start to this season. Hitting streak now at 18. Here's Brian McRae. In the face, Johan Santana. Santana only needed 10 pitches to get through the first. Great bag, 258. That one smashed down to third. Gaetti fumbles it a bit, goes to second, still gets the force. No shot at 2, though, after Gaetti mishandled that one a bit. But they do get the lead runner, so it'll be 1 out. Here's Emmanuel Rivera. He is not going to be long for this team if this keeps up, though. Does have 6 home runs and 18 RBIs, but 165 is 165. We can be in the sabermetric analytics error that tells us batting average doesn't mean that much, but there is a point there where you just have to say, it's 165, folks. He can't be staying here on this roster. Fastball misses down low. Nobody in the AL Central is over 500 right now. The Twins are in first despite a 22-24 mark. The Indians have started to get hot after their surprisingly slow start, as have the White Sox. The team that's been hugely disappointing has been the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers didn't get a fantastic draw for their starting 40-man roster, but it's still a solid draw. And they are in the basement. They can't hit. They can't pitch. Which is not the way to get things done. The Tigers, I'm sure, will turn things around, but they have to be careful not to fall into too deep a hole before that happens. 1-1 count to Rivera. 1 out, man on first. Slider in there for a called strike. We'll see in the dugouts, fictional managers. I fired all of the in-game managers and just replaced them with fake guys since you can't edit and create your own managers in the game. But I didn't want all the current managers, especially since so many of them were players, who are ultimately going to appear as players in the set to be managing the team. So we just went with the fictional route. 2-2 count. Santana fires. Rivera swings and misses. Struck him out. First strikeout for Santana. 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
The second baseman, number 16.
So Rivera's struggles continue. Here's Grzelcyk. Pickoff throw over to first. Another benefit of playing this in MLB Show 22, not 23. No stupid pickoff rules. Pitch out, runner does not go. Of all the things that Major League Baseball has done now, I believe the pickoff rule is the dumbest. You can only throw over there twice and then at bat. It is beyond stupid. Sinker misses down low. Santana behind Grzelcyk, 2-0. Change up down low. Grzelcyk swings over it. Grzelcyk 291 so far. 2 outs, man on first. Santana deals. That one grounded past the diving Herbeck into right field. Runner has to hold at second. Playing shallow against Grzelcyk there. Nice effort there by Herbeck. Herbeck, good hands, not great range, though. A full-out effort to pick that one, though. Good try there. Here's Andrew Benintendi, the left fielder. Benintendi batting .306. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Benintendi's gone in the tank a bit. He was among the batting leaders a couple weeks ago. But again, we're still in mid-May, so it's still fairly early in the season. Slider there, swung on and missed. Santana ahead of him, 0-2. Benintendi loops one down the left field line, but foul. Love these Twins uniforms. You know, when I play these games, I always try to use an old school uniform. Just out of personal preference. That one hopper to third. Gaetti goes the short way to second. They get the force, and the side is retired. So the Royals leave 2 on, but do not score. We head to the top of the third. Twins 1, Royals nothing. Here's Buddy Meyer. Meyer 0 for 1, flew out his first time up.
Buddy Meyer.
That one slashed the other way. That's a base hit for Meyer. Just realized Meyer's probably playing second. Doesn't look like Knobloch not in the lineup. I got to see if Chuck Knobloch is hurt or if he's just getting a day off. But Meyer comes through regardless. Strokes a base hit into left. Here's Roy Smalley. Smalley 0 for 1. And Buddy Meyer, another old Washington Senators player. 1-0 pitch coming. Runner goes. Ground ball down to first. Picked, only play by Sweeney is to take it to the bag himself. Runner moves up, 1 away.
Now batting, catcher, Joe Moore.
So here comes Joe Mauer. Mauer singled his first time up and then scored on the Kent Hrbek double. Pitch from Greinke. Ground ball tapped down to first. Sweeney will take it himself. Runner now moves up to third, but there's 2 men down.
Now batting, number 14.
So here comes Hrbek. Hrbek again drove in that run. Only run of the game so far. Around the league, Rays lead the Orioles 2-1 in the 6th. Fred McGriff, his 8th home run of the year for Tampa. Mark Belanger is driven in the run for Baltimore. Also in the 6th, the Mariners lead the Red Sox 3-2. Reggie Smith has hit his 8th home run. Hrbek lines this one into left center field. That's a base hit. Run will score. Kent Hrbek comes through with the RBI single, his 2nd RBI of the game. He has accounted for both runs so far, and the Twins have taken a 2-0 lead. Being shaded very slightly to pull. Puts that one out there. Otis can't get to it. Here's Larry Heil. Heil 0 for 1. Slider on the corner for a called strike. Expos and Brewers scoreless in the 3rd. Steven Strasburg, Corbin Burns, the pitching matchup there. Also in the 3rd, Cubs hold a 2-0 lead on the Diamondbacks. Stan Hack, 2-run hit there. 2-run shot, his 3rd of the year. Dodgers 4-0 over the Phillies. Kershaw and Bunning, the pitching matchup there. Kershaw continues to dominate. Fly out there to left will end the inning. But Hrbek comes through with another RBI. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Twins 2, Royals nothing. Rojas batting .254, 1 home run, 9 runs batted in for him. Takes the first pitch for a ball. So now Rojas ahead in the count 2-0. Santana deals, misses down low. 3-0 count, Amos Otis on deck. Santana deals. Gets the high strike call. Makes the count 3-1. Rojas down the right field line. That's slicing. That's going to be out of play foul. This one popped up. Shallow center. Smalley goes out. Reels it in for the out.
Now batting, number 26.
So 1 man down. Here's Otis. Otis lined out his first time up. Santana deals. Ground ball. Foul. For the strike. Fastball up high, gasses him. Otis swings underneath it. So Otis behind 0-2. Santana continues to work. 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd. Fastball misses up high. Otis lets that one go. 1-2 the count. Santana delivers. Shot out into right field. Hangs up, though. Put away by Kepler for the second out.
The batter, number 11, shortstop, Ray.
2 down, here's Ray Sanchez. Sanchez 1 for 9 in the series, 0 for 1 in the game. He lined out his first time up. Pitch from Santana. Change up in there for a called strike. Sanchez loops this one out in the right. Kepler's going to hold up, let that ball fall in front of him for the base hit. Kepler didn't get a great break on that ball. Thought about laying out for it, but if that ball gets past him, a minor issue becomes a major issue. So here's Mike Sweeney. Sweeney 0 for 1. 2 out. Sanchez now on first. Sweeney grounded out his first time up. Trying to keep that average up over 300. Santana delivers. That one fouled back. Big Clue has joined us. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for checking in. Know it has been a bit as I was taking care of some other stuff. So nice to be doing a broadcast, and I had time in the morning, so I figured I'd do a morning broadcast rather than an evening one. Tonight on the channel, the the Legend Sports Universe Basketball Association All-Star Game will be held on the channel. Fly ball Sweeney out the center, but that's tracked down. And the side is retired as Heil puts it away. We're a third of the way through here in Kansas City. Twins lead it 2-0.
Leading off to the Twins.
Yeah, I should be able to do that. I should be able to check in on the standings. I'm actually going to have player stats. One of the things I've been doing as Greinke works with John Stone here to start off the fourth. Over the last week when I wasn't doing the broadcasting, first I had my kids home for Easter for that weekend, home from college, so I wasn't doing any broadcast then. But the last week I've been doing a bunch of stuff on the website because a lot of people have asked me, we'd like to be able to check in and follow the stats and stuff like that. So I've kind of had to design templates on the website because I want to make it quick for me to be able to upload stuff. And I figured out how I can do that. So you'll be able to see standings and stats. I'm going to do them just at the end of each month. But you'll be able to track that stuff on the website. So basically a month of game time if I'm doing this on the schedule that I want to be, a month of game time will basically take 2 weeks in real life time to get through. So every couple of weeks, the website should update with the stats, and you'll be able to kind of check all that stuff out. But I should have time when this game is done to blow through the standings real quick. You can see the standings; they'll scroll, and the leaders scrolling all on the bottom as well. But I should be able to blow through that pretty quickly after this broadcast is done. 3-2 count here to Stone. Stone lines this one into right, but that one is caught. Hit on a rope. Cookie Rojas getting the start out in the right field today
The left fielder.
for the Royals. Doesn't have to move much there. So here's Shane Mack. Mack doubled his first time up. His second hit of the series. High slider. Greinke gets the call there. And I mentioned before you jumped on there, Clue, and the rest of you who are watching, thank you, first of all, for joining me. I appreciate it. The amateur draft will be held next week. So we'll find out who the next 5 players are who are going to join each of these franchises from their remaining 60 players who didn't join the pool. It'll actually be 4 from the rest of that pool and 1 Negro Leaguer also. We're going to start getting the Negro Leaguers incorporated into this through the amateur draft. So that'll be done in a week. This is, as Mac flies out there for the second out here in the fourth, this is May 22nd of the first year of the FSBL. So Wednesday I'll do the broadcast for May 29th, and then after that, June 1st is the amateur draft. So I'll do that draft, figure out who's getting done, and then I will do a separate draft broadcast on the channel and go through. He'll be joining all the teams at some point next week. Fly ball out here to center. Otis coming on. He's underneath it. Puts it away, and the side is retired. So we are through 3.5 here in Kansas City. Twins 2. Royals trying to break through against Johan Santana. They'll have Porter, McRae, and Rivera coming up. So Darryl Porter, who has extended his hitting streak to 18 games. Porter has been a huge asset for the Royals so far. Darryl Porter was a very fine player. You're not expecting him to hit for this kind of average all season long, but he's gotten off to a good start, and this Royals offense desperately needs it. They just do not. They're just not going to score a lot of runs. I mean, they're pitching. They got a good pitching draw. You know, you got Greinke here. You got Saberhagen, Charlie Lieber. I'm trying to remember who else is in there. Dennis Leonard, I think, is also on that in their rotation. So I mean, you know, the Royals got a pretty good, and Kevin Appier, who is very underrated for his career. I mean, Appier kind of ended a bit on a sluggish note in his career, but early/prime Kevin Appier was a really solid pitcher. So down the right field line, hooking towards the stands, that'll get out of play. The count will stay 0-2. Santana deals. Fastball misses outside, 1-2 the count. One down low. Porter buries it into the ground foul. 1-2 pitch here from Santana. Porter slaps it down to third. Gaetti picks it on the backhand. Throw over to first. And Porter is retired. So we've only got a few more teams left. Again, I want to do each team broadcast once in a game of the week, and then once that's taken care of, then I'll just pick the best game each week. I see Tom Seaver leading the National League in ERA at 1.26. Kershaw at 1.36. See as the rest of the list scrolls through there. Is Brian McRae. Fly ball down the right field line. That's going to slice out of play. Kepler gives a little bit of chase, but no chance for him to get to that one. Santana deals. Ground ball down to first. Herbeck has it. He'll take it to the bag himself for the second out. So the Royals just can't get anything going against Santana here. Even their contact has been weak. Here's Emmanuel Rivera. Rivera hitless in the series. Been hitless much of the year. He has just had a brutal start. You got to think the Royals, you know, I mean, they didn't get, so in their initial 40-man draw, again, that initial 40-man draw was random. They didn't get Brett. They didn't get Randa. They didn't get Seitzer. So they're just very weak at third base. It's Rivera and Joe Foy. So it's kind of a black hole over there for the Royals. So the Royals will be hoping for a third baseman, I would think, in that upcoming rookie draft that I mentioned. Man, this lineup sure could use a George Brett. I mean, any lineup could use a George Brett, but the Royals in particular, Rivera is gassed again. Santana goes up the ladder on him, blows him away. So we are through 4 here in Kansas City. Twins 2, Royals nothing. MV has joined us. It is good to see you, sir. Thank you for checking in with me. I saw you did a broadcast the other day. I did not have an opportunity to look at it yet, but I will try to listen to that broadcast while I am at work tonight. One of the complications that also was part of my layoff last week is, for the first time since COVID, I am now back in the office 3 days a week, which has really kind of messed up my plans as far as this goes. So I might have to start modifying my schedules a bit, because the days I'm in the office, getting 2 broadcasts done is just not really going to be particularly feasible. So I think one of the things that's going to start happening, it's one of the reasons why I was focusing on getting the website organized a bit better, is I'm going to start doing more writing because I can write during work, but I can't do a full broadcast during work. So, um, so I'm kind of going to kind of be doing a bit more writing. I'm still going to be trying to do at least one broadcast a day, but it might be so, like a day like today. Today I'll be able to get two because I'll do the basketball kind of broadcast itself. As Greinke walks the leadoff man here in the top of the fifth. Here's Buddy Meyer. Meyer 1 for 2, singled and scored a run. Yeah, Clue, it stinks big time, actually. Especially because there's no real reason for it. Like, I've been putting the, I'm sports editor at a newspaper, and at no point, that shot down the first base line, that's a fair ball. Runner's going to go to third, Meyer's going to go for second. It is a double for Buddy Meyer, his 5th of the year. And now the Twins have second and third, nobody out, and Greinke has a jam here in the 5th. Here's Roy Smalley. But like typically on the day where I would be looking to do 2 broadcasts, I will probably be doing, I'll broadcast one game, and instead of broadcasting the other, I'll write. Like, I'll simulate the game and then write about the game for that to post on the website or the Facebook and stuff like that. What I don't want to do is I don't want this to ever become work because it's fun, it's a hobby, and I love doing it. But I also don't want seasons to take forever to get through because I think that will just bore the crap out of it for people. I want to get through seasons in a fairly quick time because the playoffs are going to be really fun and the playoffs are going to be really exciting. So I don't want seasons to take forever. So I want to kind of keep on trying to do the ground ball down to third, Rivera with the throw to first, but a run will score. No chance to get him at the plate. So the Twins open up the lead to 3-0. Greinke is not pitching badly by any stretch here. He's just kind of getting picked apart a little bit. And he's got to be perfect because the Royals just don't have much of an offense. Here's Joe Mauer. Mauer 1 for 2, singled and scored. So, there are facts make them look bad. Yeah, I want to keep this all kind of rolling along. And I love writing. So, and it comes easily for me. So, I wanted to do more writing anyway, but I kind of think that I'll be doing like one broadcast and one written game recap per sport per week, and that'll still let me keep the 2 weeks of game time per week of real time kind of set up. And again, it's all fluid. I can adapt that however I need to as I go. But I do like having some sense of structure in how I'm running the Legend Sports Universe. As Mauer draws the walk there. So it's first and second. 1 out. Here's Herbeck. Herbeck, a single and a double, a pair of RBIs. Put the lesser sports on the back burner. Well, I'm in the offseason of football. I haven't even updated my football thing yet. And I really love doing the hockey broadcasts. They're just a load of fun. Basketball runs on its own. NBA 2K23, they did such a phenomenal job with that game. I don't do the broadcasts for that game. I'll stream them, but I don't do the broadcasts. So basketball is kind of, can kind of be self-sufficient. So that makes that one easier. But once I get the football going again, it'll be a bit tricky, to kind of manage everything. It's basically going back to the office has basically killed my adding. I was hoping to get a soccer thing going. I was even hoping just for the fun of it to get a pro wrestling thing going. There's no way that I can do that at that point. And again, if I try to spread myself too thin, then it starts to feel like work, and then I'm not getting enjoyment out of it. And this is a downtime hobby, so if I'm not enjoying it, it doesn't make any sense to do it. So just have to kind of know what to put to the side, and like I said, this is all fluid. I've got 250 subscribers, and you guys have been great. But the only thing that because the only other sport that especially because I'm doing the boxing and I'm liking the boxing, this is lined in the center, base hit, another run is going to come around to score, and the Twins have now opened it up to 4-0. Another RBI for Kent Herbeck, who's just had a terrific day, 3 for 3, an RBI in each hit. So big slugging first baseman coming through, big for the Twins, and that's going to be it for Greinke. Greinke deserved a little bit of a better fate than this. He has not really given up a lot of hard contact here. But again, this is very tough. The Royals, they're only 3 games below 500. They've, as Brad Keller comes in, his second appearance of the year, out of the bullpen. I'm sorry, I kind of, between trying to announce and then talking about stuff, I'm kind of losing my way a little bit in what I was discussing. But, wanting to do the boxing, I don't want to give that up. So now, once football is going, I've got 5 sports that I'm doing. So again, I just have to know when I'm, to keep this running smoothly, and what sports to stick with, and to not spread it all too thin. Line driving to center field, that's a base hit. So Keller is greeted rudely. Runner being waved around. Another run will score. Throwing error over to third. That throw gets away. Another run's going to come around, and the wheels have fallen off for the Royals here in the 5th. The Twins have now opened up a 6-0 lead. So Heil lines the base hit in the center. The 1 run scores. The throw home is cut off. Try to cut the man down at third. That throw gets away. I believe that was Grudzielanek who airmailed that throw to third. Blue says, going back to the office, gas money that could be spent on more sports sims. It's funny. I'm not that guy, though, as John Stone walks in here. I see these guys who have 50 sims, and they have 10 baseball games, and I don't know how they do it. But also, again, because I'm not, I don't do one-offs, and I also don't do season replays. My structure of what I do, this is exactly the way I like to enjoy it. I can't imagine having that many games. More power to the guys who do. That one's a fly out to center, so the Royals finally get a second out here in the 5th. But yeah, no, I don't load up. And again, this is the show 22. I'm not even buying the new version of the game. I mean, I'm not going to take the time to recreate all of this all over again. And they don't let you do year-to-year saves in the game anymore, so I can't even import this to the new game. Runner goes to try to steal third, and he's in there. That kind of looked like a good throw, but Heil gets in there. That's the 8th stolen base of the season for Larry Heil. So the Twins, sensing that they can really kind of drop the hammer and put this one away. A stolen base, stealing third here in the 6-run game. Nothing bad about that by any stretch. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it in the sense of running up a score. It's just they smell the blood in the water here, and they are going to try to bury the Royals. Two-0 count here to Shane Mack. Scalds that one, but foul. Boxing would be good. Enlist. Man, I will love to do that. That game is very disappointing right now, though, and it doesn't need to be. But Unfortunately, what I know about the ratings categories for that game is fine-tuning it to make the fighters fight realistically is going to be really, really difficult. Great broken bat there. Keller pounces off the mound, throw to first, and the side is retired. So the Royals will lick their wounds there after the fifth blows up on them. We're midway through here in Kansas City. The Twins now lead the Royals 6-0. Undisputed. You know, it's funny. I've got, like I said, I got like 250 subscribers on here, and an awful lot of those people came to me when I was doing the boxing, the fighter ratings preliminary for Undisputed back when it was called Esports Boxing Club. And I'm just not doing anything for the project right now because the game is just, it's a mess, and their priorities just, I don't want to say their priorities are screwed up because it's up to the company. You know, they are making a decision that online player versus player is their focus. This one dunked out into left. Smalley gets a break on it. You did a great job. Thank you, MB. I appreciate it. I love boxing. I absolutely love it. And I love boxing history, and I hope that game gets to a point where I can get back into doing those ratings. But right now, the game is just so far from it. And again, I mean, like, Fight Night Champion is 10 years old. And, of course, Undisputed looks much better than Fight Night Champion did. But I was able to tinker with Fight Night Champion and the rating system and kind of decode how I could make things work, where, like, a guy who threw 40 punches around would throw 40 punches around, you know, on average, and use the proper ratio of jabs to power shots and that kind of thing. I could do that with Fight Night Champion. With what they have said about the ratings for Undisputed, that's just not a thought for them, is doing things that way. They care more about the ground out there to Gaetti. So the Royals, the last thing the Royals needed after the top of the fifth blew up on them was to go down in order here in the bottom half. But that's exactly what's happened. We head to the top of the sixth. Twins still lead the Royals 6-0. They don't care about accuracy in that regard. They care more about fighter models, and you know the models look great. And listen, we all like a player model that looks good, but playability will always mean more to me than appearance in any game. Line shot there in the center, and the hits keep on coming for the Twins. Gaetti ropes a leadoff single off of Keller here to start the sixth. I love the graphics. I mean, this game looks so good. The show just looks amazing. But they're so caught up in the fighter models and motion capture and all that kind of stuff. I don't care if it's motion capture. If Ray Leonard isn't fighting like Ray Leonard, and you know Muhammad Ali is out there throwing 90 punches around when he really threw like 40 punches around, well, then he's not Muhammad Ali. He's just Joe Smith who looks like Muhammad Ali. It's just, the models don't matter. Playability matters. This one, deep to right field, way back, and it's out of here. Rojas leaps at the fence, can't bring it down. Max Kepler with his fourth home run of the year. And the Twins continue the rout. The Royals now trail this one 8-0. And this, you don't see 8 runs. 8 runs is a week's worth of offense for this Royals squad. They have fewest home runs in the league. And that's just, I mean, their pitching has been solid. But they just, they just can't. They are not going to come back in a game like this when their pitching lets them down. Again, Greinke didn't pitch horribly. He was kind of nickel and dimed a bit, but it is what it is. But they do not have the offense to come back from that. I mean, Greinke is now going to go to 2-5, and his ERA is mid threes. I guess it'll probably be now. I think he was at like 3.2 before this started, so he'll be like, he'll be mid to 3.5 to 3.7, somewhere in there. I would guess he'll probably fall in right now. Line shot the other way. That's a base hit. So Keller gives up another hit. As Keller has kind of thrown kerosene on the fire since coming into this one.
The shortstop.
So Buddy Meyer, just another opposite field slash single. That's what he does, and he does it pretty consistently. They're playing him to pull. Good job by Benintendi to cut that off. That almost got past him. Here's Roy Smalley. Smalley 0 for 3. MV notes, Undisputed looks great. I enjoyed some sparring, but I mean, the sparring is fun. It's just not... It's not what I'm looking for, in the game. We say like the editing to be sorted. Ground ball second. Flip for one. Double play. The first bright spot in a while for the Royals. There's 2 men down here in the top of the 6th. But, I mean, and now what's happened now is they're so far down the wormhole with Undisputed as far as trying to fix all the stuff that's broken with the online fighting, that the career mode and the editor and all that kind of stuff, my suspicion is those haven't even been touched in 3 months. Just from knowing and reading what they posted and knowing what their priorities are from talking with developers and stuff like that in the Discord and stuff like that. My guess is fighter creation hasn't even been touched in 3 months for that game. Dunk down the left field line, that falls in, and that's just the way it's going here for the Royals. Beatles Eternally has joined us. How are you, sir? Thank you for checking in. You missed the wheels fall off the wagon for the Royals in the top of the 5th. What was a 2-0 game has now become a laugher for the Twins. Here's Kent Hrbek. Hrbek, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs so far. Getting that average up to 281. Hrbek has been terrific. He's among the RBI leaders in the American League. Ground ball in the hole. Tough play. Backhand. They try to get the force and they get it. Nice play there at short to get out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The Kepler home run extends it. The Twins lead the Royals 8-0. The poor Royals. Good grief. Here's Amos Otis against Johan Santana, who has just had it dialed into cruise control. Ground ball up the middle. Smalley ranges to his left. Nice pick. Throw to first. Gets him. Nice job there by Roy Smalley. That ball was not hit that hard. I thought Otis would beat that out. But Smalley makes the play for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Ray Sanchez. Sanchez 1 for 2, singled back in the 3rd. See there, Mickey Lolich, a complete game shutout for the Tigers against the Indians yesterday. Santana's motion looks so easy, MV notes. Yes, I mean, his motion did look like that, but he's especially here, he's just on cruise control. All those motions, though, that they've captured for this game, I mean, it's such a stunning game. Like, I can sit back and watch a game of this and enjoy it. And, I mean, I don't know if there's a bigger compliment I can pay to a game than that. So here's Mike Sweeney. Sweeney 0 for 2 so far. So much pressure on Sweeney and Darryl Porter regarding this Royals offense. There's just not a lot going on there. Check around the league. The Rays lead the Orioles in the 9th, 3-2. Mariners over the Red Sox, 3-2, also in the 9th inning there. Scott Bankhead, 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits. Reggie Smith, his 8th home run of the year for the Red Sox. Indians over the Tigers, 8-6 in the 9th. We'll get back to the out-of-town scoreboard after the break as Santana Induces the pop-up and just continues to roll through this Royals lineup. We head to the top of the 7th. Twins lead Kansas City 8-0. Here's Larry Heil. Heil 1 for 3. Single and a run batted in.
Number 32.
Reds and Blue Jays tied at 3 in the 9th. Bid McPhee, his 3rd home run of the season for the Reds. Ernie Whitt has hit his 3rd home run of the year for the Blue Jays. Steve Farr and Marty Patton throwing in the Royals bullpen. The Rangers blowing out the Astros. Adrian Beltre, his 6th home run of the year. Rangers up 11-0 there. The surprising Angels up 4-0 on the A's. Nice pick there at short. Oh, that's a terrific play. Ray Sanchez. Outstanding play. You like to see that in a game like this where you're getting blown out and your defenders haven't quit on it. That's a nice job there by Sanchez. Highway robbery. Beautifully done. Dodgers lead the Phillies 5-1 in the 9th. Clayton Kershaw allows a run over 7 2/3. Sliding Billy Hamilton, his 3rd home run of the year for the only Phillies run in that one. Cardinals up on the Pirates 7-6 in the 9th. Jim Edmonds has hit his 10th home run for the Cardinals. Jake Stenzel his 6th of the Pirates. Mets lead the Rockies 1-0 in the 3rd. Jose Reyes, his 6th home run of the year. Padres lead the Giants. Giants started off the season 11-0. They have cooled off a bit since then, although they are still in first in that National League West. There you see the stats here in the AL Central. Nobody above 500. Slow starts all around. The Tigers have been abysmal, and they're only 5 games out. But beware, because the Indians and the White Sox have both started to pick up the pace and play like they are expected to. Here's John Stone. Stone 0 for 3. A's in good shape out west, though the Angels have been able to stay over 500. Stone lines this one. That's going to be extra bases heading towards the corner. Benintendi misplays it. It's going to rattle around out there. We'll see if Stone pushes it, and he's going to. Benintendi's throw is offline. John Stone will get into 3rd with a triple, his 2nd of the year. That's a play where Benintendi probably should get an error on that because he played that ball hard. And somewhat lazily in the aftermath of the Ray Sanchez play at short. Exactly what we were talking about in a blowout, having your defense still giving you a great effort. Sanchez did. Benintendi most certainly did not. You see the NL Central. The Cubs leading the way there. Shot in the right field. That's a base hit, and the run will score. And the Twins have opened it up. And 9-0. Gary Sorrell has joined us. Gary, it is great to see you, sir. I hope all is well with you. I know you have been busy as well recently. So I am hoping to get back to the football relatively soon, but just time has been short, as I mentioned earlier. As Danny Duffy comes into this game, he'll make his 11th relief appearance of the year for the Royals. 0.44 ERA. Duffy's been terrific coming out of the pen. I'm back at the office 3 days a week, so that has kind of thrown a little bit of a monkey wrench into my my things here with Legend Sports Universe. I'll obviously still be proceeding, and I'll still be doing it regularly. I may just have to kind of, I said I'm probably going to be doing a combination of broadcast and a bit more writing, because I can write at work. I obviously can't do broadcast at work. But like I can like save data and box scores or whatever, or stream things and stuff, and and write based off of that. So that is probably the turn this is going to take, because I don't want to slow down the time that I get through the leagues. So that's the biggest reason for doing things that way. So we'll see. It's all fluid. Swung on a miss, gets away from Porter. Porter's throw down to second, not in time. Time is short. The Royals lineup to vouch for. Yeah, the Royals, they just, just lineup-wise, they just got a bad draw. They don't have a great pool to begin with, and they didn't get a great draw, so they're kind of fighting an uphill battle. But they are still in the hunt. Again, I don't expect that to stay the case long, as Kepler, who's had a rough start to the season, comes through here after homering his last time up, singles in the center, and that makes it a 10-0 Twins lead. Well, again, this broadcast, we've done the Twins before, but in the effort to try to get the first, each team done once in a broadcast on the channel, this is the first broadcast that we've done for the Royals, and it might well be the last. So they're not acquitting themselves well here. But here's Buddy Meyer. Meyer 3 for 4, double, a pair of singles, a pair of runs. Doing a great job in the leadoff slot. I got to see if Knobloch is hurt or if he was just getting a rest today, because I know that's not a platoon situation. Ground ball down to first, picked by Sweeney, who flips it. Coverage to the base. And the man is retired, and that ends the top of the 7th. Twins score again, though. 7th inning stretch. For the few people still left here at Kauffman Stadium, we head to the bottom of the 7th. Twins 10, Royals nothing. Here's Darryl Porter. Porter extended his hitting streak to 18 games earlier on. Not getting a heck of a lot of help. Santana still on cruise control. Santana only at 70 pitches through 6 innings. The American League batting leaders, Reggie Smith leads the way at 363. Mookie Betts at 352. Julio Rodriguez 349. Ken Griffey Jr. at 349. Manny Machado at 347. You're starting to see some of these averages start to come down now that we've reached mid-May. So all those guys were up a bit higher than that a couple of weeks ago, so things have cooled down a little bit. Ken Griffey Jr. way out in front in the home run race with 20. Mark McGwire and Aaron Judge each have 14. Tied for second, Ted Williams with 13. Manny Machado has 12. 1-2 pitch from Santana. Smith and Betts. Reggie Smith is playing center. Smith is playing center for the Sox. And they've got, the Red Sox just got a great draw. Obviously they have a great player pool anyway, but yeah, their player pool is pretty freaking solid. Their infield not as much, but they say Porter went there. Santana picks up the strikeout. One man down. Here comes Brian McRae. Yeah, the Sox. I got to double check next time it scrolls through actually what the standings there. I think the Red Sox are up on the Yankees by a couple of games in the division. I got the digital. Yeah, I got the digital PS5. I don't need the discs. It's cheaper, and I don't game a lot. I play my few sports games, and I mess around with Fortnite occasionally, and that's basically it. There you see Cy Young leading the league in ERA at 1.4. There's a shot by McRae out into the gap in left center. Cut off nicely. McRae's going to go for 2 anyway, because why not in a 10-run game? And he's in there with the double. So a 1-out double for Brian McRae, his 6th of the year. Yeah, Cy Young is rolling. And Young is a guy who traditionally I have found doesn't do awesome in these leagues. But he's definitely off to a great start for the season. Him and the Red Sox, we talked about the lineup a little bit ago, and they've got Cy Young and Pedro as their 1-2. Like, they just got a really good draw. Incredibly, the A's actually got a better draw, but I think that it comes down to the A's and the Red Sox in the American League here in this first season. Looped out to right, Max Kepler. Diving grab, and that ends the inning. That's a heck of a play by Kepler, who's having a coming out day here, because he's kind of stunk up the joint so far this season. Again, Kepler platooning, but pretty much everything going right for the Twins, everything going wrong for the Royals, and that's how you end up with a 10-0 game as we start the top of the 8th. We'll see the National League home run leaders, a bunch of guys with 14. Acuna, Willie Mays, Willie Stargell. So Ken Griffey's 20 is really just pacing. Griffey's going to lap the field by the time it's all done. RBIs, National League, Larry Walker leads the way with 38. Nate Colbert has 37, along with Johnny Mize. Willie Mays at 35, Bryce Harper at 34. Nate Colbert is pretty much an island unto himself with the Padres there, him and Jack Clark. And Jack Clark had gotten hurt. Bill Lang leads the National League in stolen bases with 15. Jose Reyes has 14. Jake Stenzel, Willie Davis, and Tommy Harper round out the top 5 there. Fastball misses just off the corner, so Smalley works out the leadoff walk here in the top of the 8th.
Leading off for the Twins, the catcher, Joe Moore.
So here's Joe Mauer. Mauer 2 for 3. I mean, so I know MV saying that he can concur on the Cy Young thing. Cy Young generally not doing great in Legends leagues. The one thing that I do that I know a lot of guys don't, and a lot of like default rosters don't. So if you're just kind of incorporating Cy Young in, you got Cy Young's ratios from the time that he pitched, and you're facing guys in a modern climate. So like strikeouts aren't that high. So generally speaking, in a Legends kind of setup, a pitcher who pitches to contact is just going to struggle. I see that to a lesser extent. You know, somebody like Greg Maddux doesn't always perform as well. You know, it's hard to get a guy who just kind of like if you don't have like ground ball percentage settings and stuff like that, you can really make a guy like Maddux, who was, I mean, Maddux struck out a fair number of guys, but he was certainly more of a pitch to weak contact kind of guy. It gets hard to kind of create those guys in a Legend setting and have them perform at a level that you kind of want them to. But I tend to evaluate guys in my rating systems relative to the era that they played in, which really, it lets the old-time guys compete on the level. Like hitting-wise, you know, Frank Home Run Baker, well, Home Run Baker was leading the league in home runs with 9 homers, 10 homers in a season. Frank Baker will come into a league like this, and the way I set him up with ratings, he'll hit in the 20s or 30s home runs wise, because I kind of, you know, I evaluate everybody with their peers. So it's you know, Shoeless Joe Jackson is the same thing. You know, guys who were 20% above average power wise in their era are rated as 20% above average power wise in a modern climate. So they're going to perform. Otherwise, I feel like old-time guys will always kind of get overshadowed in a league like this, and I don't want that. So, you know, it's kind of you know, everybody's rated in the sense of relativity.
Left fielder, number 19.
So Santana starts off here against Benintendi. Benintendi getting a little bit of grief from the crowd here. I think after that effort on that triple by Stone earlier on. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Gotta think that Santana is going to get the complete game here unless, I mean, we're only in the 8th, but unless the wheels fall off for him here in the 8th, Santana is going to get a shot at going the distance. Judging by the time, Clue had asked me before if I'll go through the standings a bit after this game, and I will do that. I don't have too much time, but I can go through the standings at least so we can kind of see how teams are doing. The website, ground ball up the middle, backhand Buddy Meyer, throw to first, gets him. Benintendi doesn't agree. Nice job there by Meyer for the first out. The website is going to be updated. I actually have like the screen grabs from the May 1st standings, but now we're almost at the end of May. So I'll probably do a quick turnaround. I'm going to post things from actually like 3 weeks ago up to the website. It'll probably be done like, it may even get done today. If not today, probably tomorrow. And then I'll do an update on the website as of June 1st. But I'm going to have every team's statistics uploaded there also. So you'll be able to really kind of follow the league a bit more and see how the different teams are shaking out and stuff like that. The other way, Kepler plays it on the hop. It falls in for a base hit. So Cookie Rojas drops a single in. You're overly optimistic, hoping that starts a 10-run rally. Probably not. Here's Amos Otis. Otis is 0 for 3. Blue Jays have come back to beat the Reds 6-4. Vlad Guerrero Jr., his third home run of the season there. Astros are on the board, but the Rangers still routing them in Houston 11-3. Adrian Beltre, home run number 6 on the year. The Angels blanking the A's 5-0 in the 5th. Mike Trout has a pair of RBIs for the Angels there. The Braves blank the Marlins 9-0. Greg Maddux, who we were just talking about, gets the victory there. Complete game 4-hitter, striking out 11. Brewers up 4-0 on the Expos in the 8th. Greg Vaughn has gone deep in that one. Santana picks up another strikeout. Here's Ray Sanchez. Diamondbacks over the Cubs 8-6 in the 8th. Dodgers have defeated the Phillies 5-1 behind Clayton Kershaw, who improves to 7-2. Cardinals hold on to defeat the Pirates 7-6. Max Lanier gets the win there. Ed Morris takes the loss. Jim Edmonds, his 10th home run of the season. That one dunks into center for a base hit. So 2 men on. We'll see if Santana gets left in here. Starting to show some signs of fading a little bit. Neither one of those hits was hard. Here's Mike Sweeney. So the Red Sox do lead the AL East. They're up on the Yankees there. It blew right through the standings in the East without scrolling through them. I don't know why it did that. But again, we'll check out standings after the game is over. Pitch number 100 from Santana. Foul off. Oh yeah, installation is super easy, Beatles. Again, my project, it's just the 40-man that's uploaded. I haven't completed the 100-man for each team, but it's because that's not the way I'm using the set. But I will post an updated one fairly soon, the rookie draft, which will incorporate 4 more players from that 100-player list, plus a Negro leaguer for each franchise. There's a fly out to center, so the Royals still come up empty to end the 8th. We head to the 9th here in Kansas City. Twins lead at 10-0. But yeah, it's basically just download it and ready to go. So my version, this roster set is up there with 40-man rosters for each of the franchises. There are other guys who've done full set. There are plenty of options for you to check out. Deep drive to left, and that ball's out of here. Larry Heil goes deep. His 7th home run of the season. And the Twins continue to pour it on. They now lead this one 11-0. Larry Heil was a really solid player. Not a great player, but a really solid player, especially for a few years there, late 70s. Drove in 100 runs a couple times, hit 25, 30 home runs a couple of times. Short peak, but good peak. Here's John Stone, the DH. To face Duffy. Stone 1 for 4 with a triple and a run scored. That triple his only hit of the series. Fastball, high strike call there. That's an umpire looking to get out of town. So Scott Bankhead out-duels Cy Young. The Mariners hold on to beat the Red Sox 3-2. Indians defeat the Tigers 8-6. George Uhl gets the win. Mark Fidrich. Fidrich has just been abysmal. There's no way around it. Fidrich is one of those guys that the pitch-to-contact thing that we were just talking about is really hurting him here. He's giving up a ton. He's not walking a ton of guys, but he's striking out virtually nobody and just giving up a bunch of hits. Popped up there for the first out. Yeah, Morris not as much as Fidrich. Morris can get the strikeout a bit better, but am I remembering right? I might be off on this. I remember Morris is a bit susceptible to the long ball, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I might be remembering that wrong, but they just haven't. I mean, the Tigers roster looks solid, and they just have not. They have not put it together as of yet. Like the Indians. I think the Indians roster for their draw, they got a really good balanced draw, and they just started off terribly. Nobody could pitch for the Indians for like the first 3 weeks of the season. But they've started to put it together. Their offense has picked it up. I'm waiting for the Tigers to do that because the Tigers should be better than they are. Yeah, because their rotation is Lolich, Fidrich, Morris, Virgil Trucks, and Wild Bill Donovan. And McClain is going to come on and probably end up overtaking one of those guys. He probably is going to end up overtaking Fidrich and moving into the rotation at some point. Right now, McClain's doing long relief, but he's been pretty good. Looping line drive in the left field for the base hit. So 1 out, first and second. The hits just keep on coming for the Twins. Poor Royals. So here's Max Kepler. Kepler again came in batting .225, but he's gone 2 for 3 on the day. He's also made a couple of fine defensive plays out there and right. Kepler, I don't know if it's a straight platoon, but because I know Tom Bernansky is on this roster also, and Bernansky is starting at least a bit. Breaking ball misses low and away. 1-1 the count. Change up, misses down low. Two and one the count, first and second. Here's the delivery. Ground ball through the right-hand side, another base hit. Runner waved around. That's overly aggressive in an 11-0 game, but why not? Pad the stats a little bit. Run scores. It's another RBI for Max Kepler, and the Twins open it up to 12-0. It's a pitch to the score Hall of Famer. Yeah, I mean, Jack Morris got in there because of a few big games. I know he was the winningest pitcher of the 80s, but if there's an argument for wins being an overrated stat, Jack Morris was a very nice, good, solid pitcher. It's not like Jack Morris stunk, but I never thought of Jack Morris as a Hall of Famer personally. But so here's Buddy Meyer. Meyer 3 for 5, double, pair of singles, pair of runs scored. Steve Farr has entered the game now for the Royals. See Pedro Martinez leading the American League in strikeouts. Drew Waddell second. Sam McDowell, Lefty Grove, and Bert Blyleven, the top 5. Slashed the other way, but foul. Ground ball to second. Go for the tag. Can't get the tag, but they do flip and get him forced out.
The batter, number 5, shortstop, Gianni Cavaco.
So they do get the force out on Kepler. Now runners at the corners, 2 down. Here's Roy Smalley. Smalley 0 for 4. Fastball in there for a called strike. Yeah, I mean, Dave Stieb was a very, very, very good pitcher. Nobody in the 80s would have taken Morris over Stieb as their ace. There was something about Morris perception-wise. Like, I wouldn't have taken Morris over Stieb, but I think there was something perception-wise about Jack Morris that I think a lot of people would, if you had given them the choice of Morris and Stieb, they would have taken Morris. I don't think that's correct, but I absolutely think there were a lot of people who would have taken Morris over Stieb. There was like an image about Morris that kind of was getting put forth. So an image matters in the eyes of a lot of people. But from a performance perspective, I mean, if you look at Stieb's 80s versus Morris's 80s, I think Stieb's 80s top him. I would have taken Stieb over. So Corbett and Guerriere throwing in the Twins bullpen just in case, but Santana's going to get a chance to go for the shutout here. He's at 103 pitches, facing Darrell Porter to start things off. Porter, high drive out to right, carrying. It's going to stay in the park, though. Kepler underneath it puts it away for the first out.
Now batting, number 56.
Here's Brian McRae. McRae 1 for 3 with a double. See your National League strikeout leaders. Scherzer, Cone, Tim Keefe, who got off to a ridiculously good start. Maddox is actually 4th in Ks. Jim Bunning 5th. I would expect that Maddox will be in the K leaders by the time that this season ends, because he's certainly not rated that way, but right. Well, that's the thing. The perception was that Jack Morris was clutch. And listen, I mean, clutch is largely a myth, and that's kind of been demonstrated over the years. But Morris was a guy who that bill did seem to fit for. But, like, it takes, the guy was making 35 starts a year, so, like, that has to count for, that body of work has to count for more than the few big clutch games that he had. And also didn't, hurt, didn't help Steve that Steve was playing, for a Canadian team and that kind of thing. There's a media bias there, too. So here's Emmanuel Rivera, who's, I've got to believe that the Royals draft will see them take a third baseman, which won't impact them this year, but You can't be sending Emmanuel Rivera and Joe Foy out there next season. $111 pitches. I did set this game up a bit more to favor length in starters, a bit more old school. Not ridiculous. They're not going to be throwing 160 pitches, but we'll see guys go 110, 120 if they're throwing a good game. Getting it to that level was a big thing for me as Rivera once again goes down. 5th strikeout for Santana, and I believe 3 of those have been Emmanuel Rivera.
16.
So the Royals down to their final out. Mark Grudzielanek will try to keep hope alive. I use that term loosely in the 12-0 game. Grudzielanek 1 for 3, single back in the second. Appreciate the likes there, folks. Much, much appreciated. If you have not subscribed, kindly do so. Got lots of good stuff coming here. And tonight I'll be broadcasting. I won't actually be doing the play-by-play because I don't do it for the basketball because 2K23 does such a great job with it. But the LSUBA All-Star Game will occur tonight. Team captains Tim Duncan and John Havlicek will lead the way there. Ground ball up the middle. Buddy Meyer, nice backhand leaping throw, gets him, and the side is retired. The ball game is over, and the Minnesota Twins take the rubber match of this 3-game set in rout fashion with a 12-0 victory over the Kansas City Royals. So Santana gets to go the distance, a complete game, 6-hit shutout. He improves to 5-2. Zack Greinke falls to 2-5. Greinke now to his best today again. He was kind of nickel and dimed a bit. Not a lot of hard contact, but enough contact that yielded enough damage on the scoreboard. Nice play, Ray Sanchez. We like seeing that. All right, so we're going to get to the end of the highlights there. That's a good play by Kepler, too. Santana gets player of the game fittingly. We're going to go through the standings in a moment, if you want to stay tuned for that. Greinke, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 hits, 5 runs. The Royals bullpen, again, throws absolute kerosene on that fire. But look at that Twins lineup. I mean, everybody... Roy Smalley didn't have a hit. Everybody else did. They banged out 19 hits, 12 runs, 3 hits apiece for Herbeck, Meyer, and Shane Mack, as well as Max Kepler. Kepler drove in 4 on the day. Larry Heil with a stolen base again. Santana goes the distance, lowers that ERA to 2.04. For the Royals, only muster 6 hits. You know what? Those team batting averages, actually, for the most part, aren't bad. They just have no power. Other than Sweeney and Porter's actually had surprising power so far. But that's it as far as the Royals and the deep ball. So they just have to string together a ton of hits, and it's been a slog for them to do so. Greinke's ERA, that was good. Yep. So his ERA will now go up to 3.7. Brad Keller continues to get hammered around. Danny Duffy, who had been great, gives up a couple runs. His ERA jumps up to 1.19. Steve Farr gets a couple of outs to bring his ERA down a little bit. So that'll wrap things up from Kansas City. We will let this go back to the main screen. We'll sim through the rest of the games on the day, and then we will go check out the standings around the league real quick before signing off. Let's make sure that we've simmed through the date. All right, so let's go and check out the league standings. We'll start from the AL East. The Red Sox hold a 1.5 game lead over the Yankees. Both teams playing terrific ball, but look at that Red Sox team ERA 2.52. They have just been, again, we saw the Cy Young was leading the league in ERA. Pedro Martinez has also been great for them. 16-6 in the division. Red Sox holding off the Yankees right now. Against the Red Sox got a better draw than the Yankees. The Yankees, given the Yankees player pool, the Yankees did not get a great draw, but the Yankees still have a very solid roster. Orioles hanging in above 500. Blue Jays and the Rays bringing up the rear as expected. In the Central, the Twins still lead the division. Nobody is over 500 in that AL Central. Expect that to change. I would expect by the time that we post the standings on June 1st, in another 10 days or so time, we'll have a couple teams up over 500. Both the Indians and the White Sox are trending in that direction. I think the White Sox have gone cold again for the last week. I should say they're down to 2-8, but the White Sox had started off bad and were playing well, so they'll be fine. But the Indians, look out, because they've started to wake up a bit. They've got that average up to 281. The Indians couldn't hit a lick in April. It was unbelievable given the talent on that roster. So the Twins narrowly holding on to first place, but the Royals are only a game and a half out, as abysmal as they have been, particularly offensively. I mean, that on-base percentage 306, slugging below 400. That's not gonna do it. And there are the Tigers. Tigers have been hideous. 4.5 team ERA. They're only hitting 254. Literally nothing has gone right in Detroit so far. American League West, the A's, as expected, lead the way there. 7-game lead already. We're not even at the end of May. Slugging 479, 279 team ERA. Credit to the Angels, though. The Angels have stayed above 500. They're still 7 games out, but they've stayed above 500. The Mariners trying to hang in. The Astros have fallen on some hard times. They don't have a lot of power either. Their lineup isn't great. Actually, you know what? They're just underperforming. I mean, the numbers there obviously are saying their lineup isn't performing great, but the Astros are okay. They've got Bregman, they've got Altuve, Glenn Davis, Cesar Cedeno. So, I mean, they've got some guys. The Astros kind of should be a bit better than they are. They've got some black holes out there, too, though. Craig Reynolds at shortstop isn't going to hit it all for you. Their outfield, if I remember right, is fairly weak other than Cedeno. The Rangers stink. They can't pitch at all. And their offense, they didn't get a great offensive draw either. Wild card, it's really too early to talk about that. Although right now the Angels and the Orioles sit in wild card positions. I won't expect that to hold up, though. Moving to the National League, the Phillies playing over 600 ball. 30-17. They hold a 1-game lead over the surprising Montreal Expos. The Expos have pitched great. Their offense has been... They got a very good draw given the player pool that they had, and all their good guys are performing well. So Harper's been great. Andre Dawson's been great. Ryan Zimmerman is playing pretty well. If I remember right, Rusty Staub is playing pretty well. So Jose Vidro. So like the Expos are just getting what they were looking to get. I don't know if they can keep it up for the duration of a season. Thank you, MV. I appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate you checking in. The Braves in third. So I mean they've got 3 teams over 600 playing over 600 ball, which has put the Mets behind the 8 ball. The Mets are 9.5 out. Marlins 11 games out. In the Central, Cubs hold a 1.5 lead on the Cardinals, 2 games on the Reds, 2.5 on the Pirates. Even the Brewers are only 6.5 out. That NL Central is going to be fun to watch all season. That's a fun division. It's also very old school. Like the Cubs, the Reds, and the Pirates rosters, particularly, all have a very old, like they've got a lot of like 19th, early 20th century guys on those teams. The Cardinals do too a bit, but not to the same extent. So if you're a really like old time baseball fan, the NL Central will be fun for you to watch. Out in the West, the Giants. So the Giants started off 11-0. Then they played like 500 ball for a month, and now they've won 9 of their last 10, including 5 in a row. So the Giants have opened up a 7-game lead on the Dodgers. The Giants are the class of the National League. they're going to be very, very hard to pick off. They can do it all. Their lineup is great. Their pitching is really solid. Dodgers still there in second. The Diamondbacks are actually in third. I mean, the bottom of that division is so bad. The D-backs, the Rockies, and the Padres all pretty much stink. So that's going to kind of be a two horse race there. Lastly, we'll look at the wild card. Right, as of now, the Expos and the Braves are the wild card. I don't think the Expos lineup. The Expos got a great draw pitching. I don't think the Expos lineup is going to be able to hold up for the whole season. I could be wrong, but I just think there are enough holes in that lineup that they'll eventually get exposed. But right now, the Expos, the surprise team in the league, which I had said was a possibility before the season started, but I still don't think they're going to have the staying power. For one thing, the Braves will overtake them, and the Dodgers are loaded, so the Dodgers should have a really good hot streak in them too, as should the Cardinals. But it'll be fun to watch and see how it plays out. So that will bring a close to the broadcast, guys. It was nice to get on and do this again. Expect regular activity throughout the rest of the week. After, like I said, it's some stuff to tend to last week, being back in the office for work and all that. But trust me, the Legend Sports universe is alive and well, and I appreciate you all checking out the broadcast today. Nice chatting with you all. Big Clue, MV, Beatles, eternally. Thank you guys so much for checking in. Gary Sorrell was in here earlier as well. I will check out all of you guys' stuff as I can over the next day or two. Until next time, guys, be good to each other. Check the channel out this evening, the Legend Sports Universe Basketball Association All-Star Game. Take care, and we'll talk soon.